Hello and welcome to Off Field with Hinch and Rossi, because this episode
the latest and greatest sports podcast that involves balls.
we will be the
Why do you got to say it like that? Why is it got to be like that?
867th podcast to talk about football this week, and because we're Thursday, we will be the latest one to talk about it.
Yeah.
But Alex has feelings, thoughts, and opinions on this week's football matches, and he wants to share them. Alex, the floor is yours.
First of all, they're not matches, games, James.
I mean, they're matchups between two different teams.
Games.
Yes, they are.
They're football
But
games.
they're not called football matches, though.
Yes.
Whatever. It should be called hand
soccer.
egg, but whatever.
So, James, I'm really disappointed that you didn't watch these two games because I think they were two of the greatest games that happened in football, and not because necessarily anyone played what.
Was one of them the Bengals game?
No.
No.
I mean, that was also a good game.
Yeah, because I did see that one. I saw the end of that one, and that was good.
Okay, so we're talking about the Sunday games. It was the
Mhm.
Bucks and the Rams, and then
Yep.
the Bills and the Chiefs. Okay. First of all, before we get to the Bills and the Chiefs, Bucks Rams, Tom Brady almost did it again. He was down 23.
I thought he had that for sure.
He almost did it. Like he tied it up, and the defense couldn't get a stop, and it ended. But you transition after a wild game, you transition to the Bills Chiefs game, which was always going to be kind of a marquee matchup. So James, look at what I just sent you on your phone. Okay. And that is the score and what happened in the last 2 minutes of football. Okay. To the point where, Patrick Mahomes put a drive together to put the Chiefs in the lead with a minute left, right? And somehow Josh Allen responds and drives the ball back down the field to go up by a field goal, right? With 13 seconds remaining. And the Allen family is celebrating and crying in the suite and high-fiving and hugging, and they think they've got this on lock. Well, here comes Patrick Mahomes with 13 seconds left, and clearly, I guess that's enough, right? Never let your girl tell you otherwise. To drive it down the field enough to get into field goal range, right? And they tie it up, okay? And here's where things got chaotic. With the current NFL overtime rules, basically, whoever wins the toss has a really good chance of winning the game because if you score a touchdown, it's over, right?
Right. And yes, I've been subsequently learning a bit of the overtime rules because I heard of all the.
So people have had a huge issue with this, and they're really upset, and they say, well, the Bills never even got a chance, and they should have at least gotten to have the ball. And I'm on the NFL side with this. Why?
Really?
You had the ability to stop them, first of all. And then if you just give the Bills a chance to go back down the field, so what, we're in overtime again? Like, it's just
Isn't that how they do it with college football?
College football is different because the 25-yard line comes into play, and I'm not going to get into the details of all that. But I think it's completely fine. Not only did the Bills allow the Chiefs to drive down the field in 13 seconds to tie it up, they then couldn't stop them from getting a touchdown on the subsequent drive. And it's just like, okay, well, yeah, you played well. You did a great job. It was exciting. You did not deserve to win that game.
So you think the right team won?
I think the right team won. I think the rules are fine. Because if you get a field goal, the other team has basically a rebuttal. Okay. And if they score a field goal, then it's the next score ties the game. But otherwise, you're just going to keep having, if they're just slinging touchdowns like that and making it look that easy, when does it end? Like, so what? Then it just comes down to who has the ball last in the 15 minutes? Like, then
So as opposed to coming down to who has the ball first?
Well, no, Tim, it's called, you have the ability to stop them.
I know, but
football isn't just an offensive game.
So would they on the rebuttal, right? If they scored a touchdown, they would have the ability to stop them, and then it wouldn't continue. Then that would just be the end of the game.
Okay.
Because isn't it the argument I heard? The argument that I heard is that essentially it came down to the coin toss.
Well,
if it had been, if the coin toss had gone the other way, then the Bills very likely could have won.
Scored a touchdown.
I
don't know.
I see your point, Alex. It makes a lot of sense. I don't know if I agree with it. I think I like the college rules more. I don't fully understand it as much as you do, so I will definitely defer on that. But I've also not seen anybody else making your point.
The Coles notes of the college rules is you start at the 25-yard line, you get a chance to score. If you do, then whether you do or not, the other team also then gets a chance from the other 25. And you essentially go back and forth until somebody has more points after the same number of opportunities to score. Is that roughly how it happens?
comes down to having to deliver on offense and defense.
Right. But so is it more in a way kind of akin to like overtime shootout goals in hockey, where you each get 5 chances and whoever has the most at the end? I know it's not a set amount, but it's like you keep going until you have the same number of tries and one person has more points at the end of those tries.
Yes. Here's yes, but it's a different thing because you can just have it's whatever it's called, the penalty shot, right? It's a different situation. You can't just have it be a skills contest of throwing the ball 50 yards into a bucket, right?
I would also be okay with that.
Okay. The only other option that I would be okay with as a fan and have been a fan forever is fine. You don't like the current rules, then just continue the game. So it goes into overtime, but take the coin toss out of it. So the Chiefs just scored a field goal. So now the Bills have the ball. You were behind. Okay. You were the team that put yourself in the situation that you had to come from behind and make the decision. I'm going to tie it up or I'm going to try and go for the win and score a touchdown. Okay. That's your decision. But still, you were getting to the score last. Okay. So then the other team should get the ball as is happens through 4 quarters. And then you could argue that, yes, the Bills have a small advantage, but they earned that advantage and it doesn't come down to the flip of a coin. But my point is it shouldn't go back and forth. The whole point of this rule is that you need to play both ends of football. College ball, people watch it because it's 68-60. Okay.
Right.
It's just offenses playing offense. That is not what the NFL is supposed to be about. Some of the best games that have ever happened have been 10-7. Is it as exciting? No, still good football. And I don't think you can take away from that.
That's a strong argument.
It was definitely a good day of football. I thought it was crazy that the visiting teams all won by 3.
Oh, weird.
I mean, I just think it's more interesting that both number 1 seeds went home. Like, that's wild.
And like, here's the crazy thing: over the last couple of years, since Tom Brady's left the Patriots, definitely, at least I think I speak for a lot of Colts fans, where it's like, all right, I can tolerate the guy now. Like, I'm okay with him. He's definitely really good. Like, I can get over the like hatred from the Peyton Manning era.
Oh yeah, I dislike Bill Belichick.
Yeah. It still felt pretty good to watch Tom lose. Like, I don't know why. Maybe it's because I like the Rams a little bit. Like,
that is such a stupid thing. Because
I know, and it's like I like as soon as I said, I was like, oh, good, he lost. I was like, wait, why am I thinking that? He's a really good player. He seems like a good dude.
It's really sad for all those people that have that mindset. I don't care.
I got over it.
I don't care about the rival. I'm not talking about you. I'm saying you are never going to see this in sports again.
Oh, he's undoubtedly probably the best quarterback to ever play.
No, dude. No, I think it goes beyond quarterbacking at this point. I don't think you're going to see what he's accomplished ever again in anything.
Yeah, I'd say that's fair.
Lewis Hamilton, you'd put on the same plane. Did it with different teams. Okay. Jimmy Johnson, probably. Okay. Michael Jordan, yeah. Still not quite there. LeBron. You've got a very, very small handful of individuals, and you
got like 1 to 2 in each of top sport that can even be mentioned in the same conversation. Yes. And Tom is definitely the top in his
enjoy it, everyone. Like, who cares?
You know what, man? That was like, honestly, I was not a Michael Schumacher fan. Because, I call it how I see it. I thought he was a dirty driver in the sense that like he tried to take out and successfully took out Damon Hill for the championship in 94. He tried and failed to take Jacques Villeneuve out for the championship in 97. The thing he pulled at Monaco in 2006. He's a dirty driver. So are other guys. This is not unique to Schumacher, but that's why I never cheered for him to win. That being said, I marveled at watching what he did as a driver and the accomplishments. I loved watching history be made every time that guy won another race. Boring as hell race, ruined the sport for a long time. That's not his fault. That's what he's paid to do.
We all learned that national anthem.
Oh yeah, everybody knows every note of the German, the Italian national anthem. But that's just it. I think whether or not you're a fan of Tom Brady, you have to be able to accept the talent and the ability and just the badassery that surrounds that guy. And again, he's the second most successful person in his marriage. That's the best part.
It was crazy.
I think he's done, and it's sad.
I hope not. I
Oh,
hope he
now?
doesn't go out. Like, no,
Now?
I was saying it was
Now
like
it's
an
oh, I'm
impulsive.
so happy he loses. Now I hope
It
he
was an
stays.
impulsive thing coming from a lifetime of being a Colts fan.
Tim's like,
have,
I hope,
like,
he
a little-
I hope he comes back again so we can lose again. Like, you're a dick.
Well, also, how crazy is it that, okay, say he does end now and he doesn't come back. How weird is it that on his last game, after that long of a career, he gets his first unsportsmanlike conduct penalty?
Is that true?
Yeah, that was so. And he, by the way, definitely was hit helmet to helmet. He was showing, look, I'm bleeding on my lip. I got hit here. And the ref didn't call it. So he goes up to the ref, showing his bloody lip, probably not using the nicest of language to tell the ref that he missed something. And they penalized him for being unsportsmanlike. Yeah, it was total bull call.
Yeah, that's stupid. I don't know, man. I'd hate to see him stop, but I would totally understand. It's kind of like, man, is Lewis coming back? Can we talk about how Lewis Hamilton has not publicly said a thing since the last race of the season?
That is a great question. I don't know. And he's the type of guy that, out of principle, because he, I don't know how to say this correctly, but he likes to have a moral high ground. Okay. And he likes to try and be very appropriate with his decisions and very conscious with his decisions and how he makes
deliberate.
Yeah. Deliberate and all for, the betterment of everything. Right.
Yep. The sport, humanity, whatever.
Correct. Mm-hmm. I could very easily see him being like, you know what? I'm making this decision as to hopefully improve the sport and the FIA. Like, take a step back from it and be like, I need to make an example out of myself and how poorly that situation was handled.
So, like, make yourself a martyr?
I could see him do it.
Man, here's the thing. I think and this is the two sides of the coin, because I totally agree with what you just said. That is a very Lewis Hamilton approach, and like that's a compliment. Like, that's what he is. He is a very emotionally intelligent human being, and I think that there is part of him that does want to do that and would see it that way. I think the flip side of it is, as a competitor, like, the best revenge is coming back and winning again, right? So I selfishly hope that the competitor in him wins that fight, because I'd love to see him come back, win an 8th, and then drop the mic. I mean, he's got a 2-year contract right now. He just signed, right? And so they'll let him walk from it now if that's what he feels like is the right move for him. But what would be even better is to just come back, win the 8th, walk away as the greatest. It's still in the middle of a contract. Just like, I just needed to do this for me,
So he'll probably make his decision purely based on the hypothetical performance of what he thinks Mercedes can do. Because if he thinks there's a hint that they're going to be behind the 8 ball and that Red Bull's going to come out stronger, he ain't coming back. Because
that's such an interesting point.
What's even worse?
Yeah.
Getting taken it away from you like that and then getting waxed and everyone being like, see, told you he was better. Like, that's not great.
Well, he obviously listens to this podcast. So, right. Lewis, shoot me a text. Let me know what you're thinking. We'll announce
if you want to come on, and make your first public statement be here on Off Track with Hinch and Rossi. That would be great.